everyone. You're welcome to the Total Education Show.
School is not just about academic subjects alone. School is also about co-curricular activities. School is engagement with fun. School is a lot more than just the cognitive side of things.
Development of a child is 360, and that's why we have tagged this program Total Education Show.
Team is here to raise kids that will identify the problems, come together as a group, inquire why this problem happened, and see a way to correct the error.
We normally say that we have 4 baskets of rights. So 4 baskets
of rights.
Of children.
Oh, awesome.
As provided for by the Child Rights Law.
At the end of 3-year training in technical colleges, students are competent enough to take any job.
Sit down, relax, and enjoy the show. Thank you. Hello friends, hello everyone at home. My name is Wumi Tolualalade, your anchor on the Total Education Show. Yes, Total Education Show. The show is put together and packaged by the Lagos State Ministry of Education for your co-curricular aspect of education. So you have a total and a valued education system even in your homes. Yes. Now what areas will we be looking at? We're going to be looking at STEM issues. We're going to be looking at TVET, and we'll be looking at, yes, child protection issues. Everything that has to do with child protection and advocacy of your children, even as they are home. Now, do you want to give me feedback? Yes, I want to hear from you. You can send in your feedbacks to me on this WhatsApp number 081-26601-889. Yes, WhatsApp messages only on 081-26601-889. Yes, I'm waiting and I'm looking forward to hearing from you. Sit down, relax, and enjoy the show. Thank you.
I want to welcome you once again, and at this section we're going to be looking at the issues that has to do with child abuse. And from what we have been doing in the last episode, where we began discussing all that has to do with child protection, the law, the child rights law in Lagos State, and then today we'll be having Mrs. Adeniyi Vival, and she'll be shedding more light on issues that has to do with child abuse. And I want you to sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. We thank you for being a part of the program. We want to assure you that we'll continue to bring issues bordering on co-curricular aspect of education to your home and to your screen on this station every time as we do. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show, and then I'll get back to you after the show. Thank you for joining us. Relax and let us see what we will learn today on the Total Education Show. Good day, everyone. Yes, welcome back. Today we have in the studio Mrs. Vival Adeniyi. Welcome on board.
Thank you for having me again.
Yeah, thank you. It was a lovely time with you last episode, and we had you talking about who a child is and the rights of a child. She also spoke extensively on the child rights law of Lagos State, and we know from the last episode I introduced her as one of the coordinators and the principal persons that brought about the child domestic and
The child protection
policy. And today we still have her with us. So we want to go on further and learn more from her, bordering on the issues that has to do with child protection and rights. We all know that there are a whole lot going on right now, particularly with our kids at home. All the students are at home, and parents just starting to, with the relaxation that we have of the lockdown, people are just getting to go out now, and so the children are being left alone. They are being left at home or probably with people. And even right during the school period, we have issues that has to do with child molestation, whether physical, whether verbal, and so many. And it's not only sexual abuse that we have a whole lot. So today she'll be talking about different forms of child abuse, and I want her to start right now.
Thank you for having me again.
Thank you so much.
So we have what we call, it's an acronym called PENS.
Last time it was 4 baskets. Today is pen. So
yes.
Get your pens down and start writing.
It's just an easy way to remember these things and when we're engaging children. So we have P stands for physical, E for emotional, N for neglect, and S for sexual abuse. These are the general forms of child abuse. Physical, I think we're conversant with that. Punching, kicking, hitting, poking.
Bullying.
That will not be physical, except the bullying now extends to physical contact.
Okay.
But you know, bullying can be emotional. You're saying things or you're doing things that affects the emotional stability of the person receiving that abusive act. So physical, how can you detect signs? Apart from normal bruises you see, you're looking at bruises where ideally on the part of the body, that part should be covered with a cloth. So when you see bruises on the buttocks, you see bruises on the back, you see bruises on the face, areas that are not, we know children are prone to falling down if they're playing.
Yeah, so
maybe
the hand or the legs.
You know. But when you start seeing questionable marks in areas that should be covered with the cloth, that is an indication that this child may be physically abused by somebody we don't know who. And then of course emotional abuse.
That cannot be seen.
You know, that's not seen, but the impact it has on the children, it actually has the ability to destroy a child's self-esteem.
Definitely.
Over time, they are being told, you can't amount to anything good, you are so useless,
you're stupid.
I regret the day I gave birth to you. Why can't you be like your sister? Why can't you be like your brother? Comparing, forgetting that children are different. They are unique in their own way. You know, emotional. The child's emotions, the child's self-esteem is being affected. And of course, that will impact on the child's ability to progress in life.
Definitely.
Then neglect, we talked about this last week. It's at the heart of child abuse. Neglect is basically doing something that it prevents the child from exploring their full potential. Things like a child, the weather is cold, right? Other children go to school, they have their sweaters. It's not because the child doesn't have a sweater, but because there's nobody performing oversight to ensure that this is what the child is supposed to wear and the child is not wearing it. A child is not eating properly. You hear of cases where they say they flog the child because the child stole meat.
Yeah, and it's not as if the child really is a thief.
The child is hungry.
It's because of that hunger that he's having.
And not because the child does not have, not because the parents are poor, but because the child is being neglected.
Yes.
And so the child has to resort to stealing a piece of meat from the pot. That's an indication that this child is being abused. We have a case of the child of the particular family that would abuse the child, and as a form of punishment, they would tell the child to sleep in the corridor. We did not know that a neighbor was looking at this, and every time they would send that child out to sleep in the corridor, the neighbor would come and sexually abuse that child.
Oh my goodness!
Until the point where the child was now penetrated sexually, and then the child had an STI, and then they had to alert. So when we were doing our investigation, we found out that what was the cause? The child was being neglected. And then of course that leads me to sexual abuse. I think most people are conversant with that one. Sexual abuse, having unlawful sexual intercourse with a child, requesting a child to perform sexual activity on you, requesting a child to perform sexual activity on themselves, exposing a child to pornographic materials. All of these things are done that are sexual in nature, and all of these things are criminal allegations. And as we said last week,
episode,
a child cannot give consent.
yeah, no matter
Whether the child comes to meet you,
or he's
whether
dressed
the child
somehow, or he's wearing is it bumper
Bomb
shorts,
shorts.
bomb shorts.
it is strict liability. As far as the person is below the age of 18,
Yeah.
the child cannot give consent. So if you go and have unlawful sexual intercourse with that child, you are looking at life imprisonment.
Even though we're talking about dressing, I'm not saying that because it's your right as a child that you can wear. We're not saying you can wear anything now, or their parents can just clothe their children with whatever materials they feel like. But we should be able to, balance everything.
Not because of what they wore, because sexual violence is not about sex. It's about power and control. Yes, we actually have research to back that up.
Okay.
It's not really about what the person was. We did a research on sex convicts in 2016. We were able to engage 140 sex convicts. These are people currently serving time. And none of them said that it was what...
In Lagos?
In Lagos.
Wow.
We partnered
Doing
with the
wonderfully.
Nigerian Prison Service as they were then, as they were referred to then, but now the Nigerian Correctional Service. None of them said that it was because of what their victim were. It was more of 80.5% of them said they had been abused before the age of 6.
Oh,
And so they had
felt
been
it was
exposed.
normal.
Exactly. And they didn't receive psychosocial support, so they had started to abuse others. And the majority of them did not equate it with the severity that, with the amount of importance that it is. Some people felt it was like stealing. Maybe just a slap on the wrist and they would go on.
And they would go.
Unknown to them that it was life imprisonment.
Please, we'll come back to that. Yes, on that note, I want us to quickly take a look at the clip, and then we'll be right back to continue the conversation.
Dele Amu is a 12-year-old boy. He doesn't attend school and he lives with his aunt at Mushin. He usually stays at a neighbor's apartment because his aunt does not come till 6 p.m. during the working days. His aunt came home last week Friday and began physically abusing Dele as she always does every night, leaving him with deep marks and bruises all over his body. A mandated reporter found Dele in the neighborhood and made this report via the star 6820 # platform. The mandated reporter in furtherance sent a mail giving the details of the case, pictures evidencing the allegation. The DSVRT caseworker calls the mandated reporter to confirm the reports and extract more details such as the name of the child, residential address, and the name of his parents.
Thank you for making this report. Can we have the name of the child, the age, address, and the name of his parents?
Caseworker thereafter writes a letter about the case, including the details about the child, with pictures evidencing the allegation to the Child Protection Unit, CPU, the Secretariat Ikeja, in the Ministry of Youth and Social Development. Immediately, rescue operation commenced between the Child Protection Unit and the Domestic and Sexual Violence Response Team, visiting the Mushin Police Division, informing them of the case. The police thereafter joined the team and rescued Dele. Dele was put in a shelter some hours later and was taken to the Primary Health Care Center, Mushin, for treatment. The Mushin Police Division later that night arrested Dele's aunt and charged her to court for child abuse. Dele was reunited with a trusted family member and is being followed up.
Welcome back. That's so sad from the clip that we watched now. The role of parents, the community, teachers, and everyone in Lagos State, because we're talking about students in Lagos State. We all have our roles to play in seeing to the prevention and reduction of cases and incidents of child abuse. Anywhere we have to be mindful of how any child is being treated, right? And we have a role to play in all that. And I want us to begin with the red flags. What are those things that you, as a person, an outsider, a neighbor, or probably as a parent even, what are those things that we should look out for?
I think the first thing really is change of behavior. When a child is being abused, either physically, emotionally, or the child is being neglected, or the child is being sexually abused, usually there's a change of behavior. A child used to be a high flyer. As the child comes in, the child is the life of the party. All of a sudden, the child is being withdrawn. That's a red flag. It doesn't necessarily mean that the child is being sexually abused, but it's a red flag that there is something going on, and you have to probe for that. A child is anxious of a particular person. The uncle
anytime somebody walks in,
and you say, go and greet, and the child is holding to your leg, doesn't want to move.
There must be something.
There must be something. A child that had stopped bedwetting, for instance, all of a sudden resumes bedwetting. A regressional activity, behavior takes place. It is an indication that something is going on. As regards children, other children have gone home. Other children are looking forward to the weekend. Meanwhile, there's this child that is hiding, maybe under the table, or doesn't just want to go home. Why? If the home is a place of refuge and solace, why doesn't the child want to go home? You need to probe. You need to try and detect that something is wrong. A child used to be an A student, for instance. All of a sudden, the child is dropping in grade. There's truancy. The child is not coming to school. Even when the child comes, the child is not giving full attention. It just behoves on each and every one of us in the schools, religious institutions, and in the community. We have to become deliberate. For parents,
in detecting those red flags.
Exactly, because children are speaking through their body language.
We are not hearing.
But we are not hearing.
We're so busy.
We're so busy. We're so busy.
Oh my. We're so busy. And I know that we all need to know. I think you're going to shed more light on that, because many people, we see the signs, but we just don't get it. We don't get it because probably we are in denial. We're like, it can't happen to my child, for all those things. But really, there are ways that we can detect those things. So how can we be able to do this better? How can we perform this role of prevention?
We need to bond with our children. We need
that
to
cannot be
fellowship.
overemphasized.
It cannot be overemphasized.
Right from cradle.
You know, especially as it concerns sexual abuse of children. It thrives in secrecy.
Yeah, if you say it, I'm going to kill you.
Your parents
I've heard
will die,
people say
something will happen,
they tell them that.
They would arrest you and all of that. But the moment where there is a good relationship, good communication between the parents, and you tell the child that it is still a secret if you share it with me.
I won't tell anyone. You haven't told anyone. You have just told me.
Just tell me. I have a duty to protect you. If you're able to build that relationship with your child, it is very, very likely that if there's somebody that is trying to groom your child, that child will tell you, oh, Uncle so-and-so bought me juice today. Uncle so-and-so gave me 50 naira on my way home.
So those are the red flags.
Those are the red flags. It is your duty as a parent to go and meet that uncle. Why are you giving my child this? Okay, thank you so much, but please do not give. You know, so you immediately nip it in the bud.
Gain the trust of the child. That's why they groom, right?
Exactly. Exactly. So we have a role as parents, caregivers, school,
even residents of Lagos State.
Yes.
So far you're living in Lagos and you're here, whether you're from wherever, you have a role to play in preventing and reducing the incidence of child abuse. Because if we see it as a duty call for all of us, I think these incidences will reduce, and those people that predate on children, they will instantly know that they are not safe, and they are not being given that liberty to do what they like. So I want that note, I want to say thank you. You have really explained a lot. Now I know that there's something. Every day I keep having new acronyms for what to do. So today we're going home with PENS, and that is physical abuse, emotional abuse, neglect and sexual abuse. And also we know that we as parents, teachers, even residents of Lagos State generally, whoever you are in the neighborhood, anywhere, we have that role to prevent the incidents from rising. If you notice anything, even you as a parent, you see any red flag, as Barrister has explained today, just ensure that you get close to your child and communicate to the right. Please tell us that number once again.
The shortcode *6820#.
Yes.
Yes, and then we also have hotlines that we will share.
Yes, we'll share that on the screen. Don't forget to give us text messages as your feedback if you want to know more, if you have questions, if you have contributions, even if you want to report cases. I think she coordinates the Lagos State response team. So please send it through to the number on your screen, and we'll be very pleased to give you answers to your questions. Thank you for being with us today. On this note, we're going to round off, but we'll still leave you with some beats and clips for you to still learn more as we continue this conversation. We have heard the expert tell us today that yes, child abuse issues are of 4 different kinds. We have the physical one, we have the what? Yes. Oh yes, you got it. We have the emotional one, yes. We have another one, yes, you got it, the neglect, yes, neglect issues. And then the big one, the big elephant in the house that is so common that we all talk about, the sexual abuse. Well, we know all these things now, and I'm sure that we have to be very, very observant so that we can see the red flags in our children and in the children around our vicinity when they are going through such abuse, any form of abuse whatsoever. Thank you for listening in today, and thank you for joining us on this show. We look forward to having you next time as we continue to learn more about issues bordering on child abuse. We want to say thank you to the Governor of Lagos State, Mr. Babajide Olusola Sanwo-Olu, for his support. We thank you, sir, and we thank the Governor's wife, because we have seen her, all the engagement she's been having concerning child abuse issues, and as well the Honorable Commissioner for Education for ensuring that you have an aspect of co-curricular activities and co-curricular things that we do in the school setting. I want to also say thank you to the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Education, Lagos State, to the Tutor General Permanent Secretaries of the Lagos State Education Districts from 1 to 6. Also not forgetting the Executive Secretary of LASVEB for our support in making this show a reality. We want to thank everyone. We thank the expert barrister Adeniyi Vivo for coming to the show, and we also thank all parents and all students and everyone that is watching us on today's show. We'll see you next time, and I want to assure you that whatever you send to us, we'll keep it secret, we'll keep it close to heart. You can trust us and send in any of your questions, your anything bothering your mind related to the issues that we've discussed today. Thank you for being a part of the show today. I say stay safe, remain safe, and be happy. See you next time. Bye for now.